So Jawany, fantastic win. What's your thoughts following that?
Say again?
Well, fantastic win. What's your thoughts following that?
Thank you. My thoughts following that is obviously watch it back, see where I can improve. Obviously talk to Pedro again, see how quickly I can get back out there and show my skills again. But I'm pleased with that performance and pleased to fight for Pedro.
And it was a sort of tricky first round. I felt like you were slipping quite a bit, maybe not so. What was said to you going into the corner and after the first round?
The first round, my foot was quite dry. Yeah, so I had no grip, my foot was going everywhere. But at the end of the first round, we kind of wet the canvas a little bit. Then I put my feet in it. Then once I went into the second round, you can see that my foot was planted. I had to get my shot off.
And it made all the difference. You got the finish very early in that second round. Fighting for it's your first pro fight in England, as in MMA.
Yeah, it's my first pro fight in MMA, and yeah.
So what are those emotions like when you get that win, especially a finish in front of so many people?
I tell you what, it means more to get this win here for on-cage warriors, and because obviously I've always been fighting abroad. Had all my supporters here, so they really helped me and spurred me on. I can hear them throughout every second, every minute of each round. So I'm happy to get for them, and for me, and for the gym.
Do you think those sort of away day experiences kind of help you in going into this fight, where you can sort of embrace the crowd being for you?
100%. Definitely spurred me on, as I said, and it gives me that extra push. You know, my supporters are here. Know that I'm a hometown favourite as well. Always goes in your advantage. So I'm pleased with that.
And over here, in the previous fed boxing, weightlifting, do you think sort of being a multi-sport athlete will benefit you in this journey?
100%, and I always advocate for anyone else, especially when they're starting out, do as much as you can, compete in as many sports as you can. MMA is something where it can take you in any direction, on the floor, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, boxing, kickboxing. So if you're multifaceted, it will benefit you.
And 2024, what can we expect this year from you?
More fights, more finishes hopefully, and more exciting performances.
Brilliant, thank you. Fantastic win today. What's your thoughts following that?
Went on a bit longer than I'd hoped. I made a prediction that we could get him out in the second, and I was inches away from it, but should have pulled the trigger. But I'm very happy with it anyway.
Can you describe that feeling when your hand is raised, how you felt emotionally going in after that?
There's no feeling like it. It's all of us that fight enjoy training, enjoy the build-ups to fight, and then worried about what's going to happen, to then complete autopilot, and then all of a sudden, you're the happiest you can ever be at the end. It's like a huge crash followed by a huge spike of emotions, and at the end of it, you just have to let it all out.
And they spoke about Cage Warriors Academy. You've sort of gone from academy to first team, I guess is the best way to put it. What are the differences from that? I suppose it's a bit more pressure, a bit more
pressure. I always try and think of each fight the same way. I'm going in there to test myself against someone who I will see as, on that night, the best version of themselves. So whether it's my first amateur fight or my Cage Warriors debut, I try and think of them all as the same. But looking back on it, being able to finally fight in London, and for my debut fight, O2 Indigo, the crowd and everything, it just made it feel that much more special.
And you've got a few teammates fighting on this card. What is that atmosphere like within the gym, going into a week where you're all fighting on this one card?
Amazing. We're all there supporting each other. Of course, our coaches always say we fight as individuals, but we train as a team. But when you come down to it on the day, you're also there as a team, and sure, you do get in the cage on your own, but you're not going to get there without such a team behind you. And having us all here, teammates and coaches alike, it makes the process a whole lot more enjoyable.
In 2024, what can we expect?
A lot more fights, a lot more excitement.
Tommy, fantastic win. What's your thoughts following that?
Mate, look, first round TKO, I'm happy. You know what I mean, it didn't go exactly how I expected. I wanted to do a little bit more on my feet, but like when I walked in there, it was I felt a little bit slippery. I didn't really get my hands off at the start. He caught me with a shot, got the takedown, and when I took him down, I knew he wasn't getting back up. I knew it was just like control, and then just start dominating him, hitting him with some big elbows, and they got the win.
And what's that emotion like when you get pulled off him and you've won your first pro fight? What does that feel like for you?
Amazing. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's to be fair, it's the same as every other one until I get to the top for me. So I know it's on to the next one, just another man in the way, and obviously another person on my journey to tick off. And I ticked it off in a good way. Not the way I wanted to do it, but look, listen, big things are gone. I've got to win first round, so we'll see what happens next, innit?
Do you think that mindset will help carry you forward in that case, not getting too high after a win and just staying focused?
Yeah, I think so. Look, and as well, I think first pro. Obviously, I've done everything in my amateur career, 8-0, undefeated, double champ. And now pro is obviously that next level, so you're going to have that little bit of not that anxiety before you get in there, so because it's a bit different. Do you know what I mean? 4 ounce gloves, different stage, bigger crowds. But now that's out of the way, so next time it's going to be familiar to me. So when I get a bit of familiarity in my system, man, we'll see what happens, and I'll be getting even better and better, bigger and bigger things.
And did you notice that difference coming? Because obviously you've come from the academy, it's your first pro fight. Did you really notice that, or was it sort of business?
No, look, you see me as I walked in, man. I took it in my stride. I've got God on my side. I know that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Today was meant to be. Like I said, I went in there. My feet was a little bit slippery on the canvas. Like I couldn't really get off on my bounce and get my rhythm. But look, all credit to me. A nice shot. Took him down. Got the win. Ground and pound. I knew as soon as I went on the floor and hit him with them elbows and them shots, I knew that he weren't getting up. So I just sort of finished the fight.
And 2024, are you living up to your nickname?
Big teams of mine. Exactly that. Exactly. We've got some big fights coming. So I'll be in there very soon. So we'll see who's next.
Brilliant. A fantastic win. Really hard fought. What's your thoughts following that?
It was fun. It was fun to hit him and get hit. It was for real. One of the first fights in my life that I have to fight for my life. I feel that the win was far away in the first and second round, but you know the power of will is everything. So I had to dig deep and yeah.
Is that a powerful feeling when you sort of feel that momentum coming forward from the fight?
You know, when I had the guillotine in the second round, I was almost drowning in my own blood, and my coach was screaming at me. I just the grip, but I told him I'm drowning, and the blood from my nose was my throat and my mouth, and it comes out, and it was, I don't know, it was fun, man. I like it. So yeah, I'm gonna be proud of my performance.
Are they sort of the fights you get into MMA for? Because when you watch it, these are the incredible fights that draw you to the sport. So as a fighter, albeit you probably love a painless sort of quick win, but something to look back on?
I think this one was a better win. You know, digging deep and sleeping and stuff. I was almost screaming every time I hit it. It was on spot. This one was fight, man. It was war. I was not in a sport moment. It was fighting for the life. So yeah, it was fun.
And having earned the win, that must have been a great feeling when your hand got raised.
So with this face, I don't want to go home as a loser. Even that fight hasn't any loser. We both was winners. So much respect for him, but it's always nice to get to win.
And as I say, there's a lot of talent in this division.
Yeah.
I mean, are you looking forward to next time?
Man, the last 5, 6, 7 persons in this division, everyone could be a champion. So yeah, I'm happy that I have the honor to fight.
And 2024, nice well-earned rest, I imagine, but you're looking to get back in there.
Yeah, of course. I can be here next month. I'm ready.
Brilliant. Thank you. Jimmy, win tonight. How are you feeling following that?
Yeah, I feel great, you know, coming back from a loss and in front of the home crowd as well. I had to get my redemption tonight, and that's what I did.
And what was the big lesson from your first defeat that you took into this fight?
Yeah, so the biggest lesson I learned from the last one was to slow things down, stay calm and composed. You know, a calm fighter is a dangerous fighter, and I'm more dangerous when I'm calm. So I see everything in there tonight because I slowed things down. My preparation was a lot better for this one, and yeah, I felt like everything was coming together. It worked out perfectly.
And fighting somewhere like at the Indigo, I mean, that must be a great feeling in London. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I love it because everyone's here to support me. You know, it's 20 minutes up the road from Dagenham, and yeah, it's nice for us to have someone here fighting. And you know, maybe one day the big O2 for the UFC. So who knows? It's a big call at the minute, but obviously, yeah, in the future, 100% definitely.
Is that something you could almost envision sort of coming into here? You see that O2, it's massive, 100%. Isn't it?
For me, this is like a big warm-up, you know, so this is part of the journey, you know, you've got to go through the O2. If you can't get the wins here, then how are you going to get the wins in the big arena? So, yeah, this for me is just a part of the journey, and I love it, so, yeah.
And I caught on the commentary that you'd done breakdancing before you got into MMA. Was there anything from breakdancing you took into your own journey.
Yeah. So the only thing that I use from dancing is my little celebration afterwards. I'm throwing a few flips. I need to think of a new one every time because I've been rinsing them recently with different flips. So I need to think of some new ones. But they're hard, you know. After a fight and you're tired and you're trying to flip, you land on your neck or your head, this goes viral. So
Yeah, that's it. I've seen some go wrong.
Maybe I'll do something else next time. But yeah, we'll see.
And 2024, what can we expect from you?
So 2024, we'll get a few more fights in. You know, I'm taking my time. I'm still young. Yeah, and we've got years. You know, we're leveling up out in San Diego with the MMA Academy. So yeah, we'll just take it one step at a time and get some more fights in this year.
Brilliant. Well, fantastic win tonight. What's your thoughts following that?
Feel good. I want to go to the UFC. I think I've earned it. I think I've showed people that I'm a real fighter, the real deal. I'm very active, fighting 3-4 times a year. Leon's a tough guy, tough competitor. I showed what I'm made of.
And you fought so much in Cage Warriors now, it's 11 fights. Do you think that sort of battle tested is going to really help you when you get into the UFC? If or when?
I hope so, because the way I look at it, I think I've had the hardest run in Cage Warriors history alongside maybe Vucenic. The way I look at it, I've had the hardest fights you could possibly have. I think my division, middleweight, is a killer's division. I've showed that I am arguably the best fighter in the division, or if not one of the best. I'm one of the youngest. And I'm active and I'm not on steroids. So ultimately I believe I belong in the UFC, the drug program, and where the character belongs as well. Because I show up, win, lose or draw, no matter how much damage I take in the fight, I will fight. I will fight till the death, and I don't pick my opponents. I fight who they tell me to fight. So that is a UFC fighter, basically.
And you say you train with Hamzat Chimaev right now in Sweden. I mean, is that giving you that confidence as well, knowing that you can train with him and you can, you know, have those battles?
It's experience. I mean, in my opinion, he's the best fighter in the world. From what I've seen, that's not an opinion because he's my friend or I like him so much. It's just the truth. He's just a really good fighter. So to have had rounds with a guy like that really helps. But it's not just him. I did rounds with Volkan Oezdemir, Matej Panaz, Rafael Kvetsta, who will be a future UFC middleweight champion. He's an amateur IMAF champion. He's an animal. So loads of great rounds, and these rounds push me on and make me a better fighter, and make my confidence, and make sure that in my mind I know I'm in the best position to win the fight.
And Dana White sort of teased that the UFC are coming back to England. Is that the card you've got your eye on, or maybe even earlier in
I would love to get on that UFC card. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have to ask me twice. But there might be a contender series. It might be UFC. It might be Dario next. Either way, whatever's next is onwards and upwards.
Sorry, I've been someone in it. Fuck. Okay.
Well, it's another fantastic win. What's your thoughts following that?
Thank you very much, firstly, for that. Yeah, to be honest with you, I like to let my performances speak to I like to let my performances speak for myself, speak for themselves. I felt like that was an entertaining fight. Obviously, I have to watch it back. But yeah, I hope people got what they wanted. We both told you that it was going to be an entertaining fight, and I felt like that's what we gave the fans. And I'm happy that came out on top.
And a 15-minute war, you know, that must be a fight you know straight away you're going to be looking back on thinking Definitely. Just an incredible highlight.
Yeah, and you know what? I loved every fucking moment. Sorry for swearing, but I loved it. I was in there. I was happy to trade. I loved it.
Are they the fights that you sort of live for as a fighter? Though?
Definitely, yeah. Obviously, getting hit is not the objective. The objective is to hit, not get hit. Yeah, every now and again it is fun to have a little terror, and I feel like that's what it was. I still feel like I was the sharper fighter, but at the same time I did get hit against my face and my braids. If I take my hat off, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so I'm happy to do those. It shows that I can go 3 rounds, 5 minutes wars. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, came on too.
Did you feel at the end of the fight that you'd done enough to win? What was the emotions like following that, or was it after you got a hand raise where it really sunk in? What happened?
No, I felt like I did enough to win. I felt like the closest round was the second round, and I still feel like I won that round. Again, I have to watch it back. First round I dropped him 2-3 times. Last round I took him down. I felt like I dominated a lot in the third round. So I felt like I did enough. Obviously, you don't know what the judges say, so I never get ahead of myself. I did my backflip because it's cool, and I did a superhero landing, and yeah. So yeah, that's it.
And you spoke about wanting to be in the UFC. Obviously, this fight's at the Indigo at the O2. The UFC have been at the main O2. Is that almost something you can envision happening for you, having this fight here?
Definitely. Every time I come to Cage Warriors, I'm lucky enough, thanks to Cage Warriors, every fight that I've had for Cage Warriors has been at the O2. And every time I come here and I walk to the venue, I look at the O2 and I'm like, okay, cool. One day we'll be in that big stage, and hopefully it's one day soon.
And 2024, what can we expect?
UFC. That's all we can expect.
Brilliant. Thank you. Jordan, fantastic win. What's your thoughts following that?
Oh, buzzing. I'm just, happy with it, happy with the performance, happy with how it all went, the finish, start, everything, start, middle, end, happy.
You start to really put together getting those consistent finishes now. Was there something that switched for you for that to happen, or is it just a natural progression?
Just a natural progression. Just learning that, I was sort of taking them as it was a fight to the death. Now I'm I've just took a step back and realised, look, it's not a fight to the death, it's a sport, and I've got to win the sport at the end of the day.
But seeing it more as like a tactical battle now has helped you in there.
Yeah, 100%, because I'm not getting emotionally involved in the fights anymore. It's a sport, look. That's it, it's a sport. It's just the same as sparring in the gym, just with a bit more ante.
And you spoke about wanting to get into the UFC. We're here at the Indigo at the O2. I mean, that must almost be a bit of foreshadowing, possibly, to get into the main O2 arena.
Yeah, I always, from the beginning, I always wanted to be a UFC fighter, not Bellator, not PFL, I wanted to be a UFC fighter. I wanted, as cliche as it sounds, when people go, "Are you a UFC fighter?" I go, "No, I do MMA." Or, "Do you do UFC?" I go, "No, I do MMA." I would love for somebody that doesn't understand to go, do you do UFC? And I can go, "Yeah, I do UFC actually." I don't have to correct them and say, "No, I do MMA." I will say, "Yeah, I do UFC." Can't wait for that day.
Is it almost surreal? Because when I walked into the thing, you see that everyone sort of listed around. You've got Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping, Paddy Pimblett, and then on the left it's you. Did you see that? Is that almost surreal to you that you're up there in that sort of Cage Warriors lineage?
As mad as it is, I always knew that I was going to be at that level. As crazy as people might think, I always knew that. But it's amazing to see that it all come into fruition, but I always knew.
And the main event in front of a big crowd, I mean, what's the emotions after securing a finish like that?
Just on top of the world, honestly. You can't even put it into words. I mean, it's like, it really is the highest highs and lowest lows, all that training I did, if I would have went out there and lost, which quite easily could have happened, it's like, it just cuts you deep, you'll never believe, but when you win, it's just the best feeling ever.
And clearly you're very confident, you've proven you can do it. Is UFC the next call for you in terms of the rest of 2024?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you.
Perfect.